Hi, this is Finance Investing Just Joey style, and I've kind of recorded a couple videos, and I'm just trying to figure out how I want to word this, but I'm pretty sick of making mistakes. And this is what I do. Not make mistakes, but I show people what not to freaking do. I'm really good at that. I'm decent at giving advice. Well, not advice. I'm decent at giving strategies and stuff like that. I've actually never made a bad stock pick in my entire life, except for one. One company didn't do well, and it was an OTC company. It's the only company I've ever told anybody about that didn't perform well. But I don't have an account that has performed well to even show you that I'm good at stock picking. I talked about Palantir 4 years ago when it was $13. I've been talking about SoFi for freaking years. HIMS, I actually was paying attention to that a while back. Affirm, I was looking at that at $8. Affirm's at freaking 72. 76. Sorry. Yeah, it actually looks like it's in a decent place to run. Yeah, Affirm looks real good. Affirm looks really good. Affirm's a buy. Oops. We broke out of this downtrend here on the RSI. Crossover again. 5 and 13. Jump above the 50. Not hitting the top of the Bollinger Band. Affirm looks like one heck of a buy. And then, like I said, this is the box that we're aiming for right here. 76 to 92. Buy it, take profits in this box. You're good to go. I'm terrible at execution. I'm really good at looking at stuff, and I didn't really learn these charts or these trends and stuff like that. I didn't really understand how the BACD worked, and I'm still doing some stuff, but I also confuse myself sometimes when I look at stuff. This is the exact same company. This is just the 5-minute. Oh, those are all jacked up. Man, why does this chart look like this? Let's go with a different chart. Anyhow, here's the 5-minute. This doesn't look like the 5-minute. It is. So sometimes I like to play the 5-minute to figure out what the heck's going on throughout the day. And this was a huge but it's hard to play the longer term trend, especially when the RSI is this sold off for this long. I made like $150 in this downtrend, but ultimately I should have made closer to like 500 because this trend never changed. The 5 never crossed back above the 13. Crap, we never closed above the 5 except for one time throughout the entire move. So there was nothing that said get out of my covered call except for the RSI. That scared me out 2 or 3 times. And then I started looking at the hour. And then if we looked at the hour in the same time frame here, this is the exact same move that we were just looking at from here to here, but this is the hourly. If I just looked at the hourly, there was definitely nothing else to do. So that's what's difficult with trading, is finding the different time frames and going back and forth between the two, because sometimes you're playing the 5-minute in your head and the daily on the screen. That's no good. That's no bueno, because you're looking at two different things and you're trading off of one. And sometimes I don't know if it's the confidence to hold throughout the entire trend, because I'm not into that machine style yet. It's actually really cool because over the last couple of years, I've had anxiety for the first time in my life, and I don't really have much anxiety. So that's nice that I don't mind seeing my account down when I know that I have a good, solid pile of company. But I'm pissed that I lost. It wasn't like I cut my losses. I held on to them. I held on to them. There's no reason to hold on to them, especially right around in this area. Because this is when I started learning. But my execution is still poor. So do not leverage your account, especially if you're newer. I mean, I've been doing this for a long time. Don't leverage your account. If you mess it up, you're going to destroy your stuff. So this finance investing just Joey style, this is what not to do. Okay. Now, my long-term stock picks, MSTR, wonderful company. You're not going to listen to me because you're like, look at your account. It went from $84,000 to $29,000. I know. That's not good. But my long-term picks are great. But my short-term, I was leveraged in the worst time ever. I mean, look at, actually, I don't want to click on that. MSTR. This is kind of where I started buying these calls, somewhere in this area, and I held them through all of this. There was nothing through here that said hold a call option. There was barely anything here that said hold on to the stock. But long term, it's difficult to sell shares because ownership is very, very important. But I had the ability to play covered calls, and I'm good at it. But this trend, I mean, it just showed that it was wonderful. I made a boatload of money. I should have made $10,000-$20,000 in covered calls in this time, not lose $10,000 or $20,000 worth of call options. So, but this is stuff that people don't tell you. People don't show you that you can blow your account up. They just show you the good stuff. Now, don't get me wrong. Look at this. There was some good stuff. This was good stuff. I mean, I kind of did the same thing here, but I wasn't leveraged. It was just the market sucked. And I was right. And this is a very volatile, very large stock. I'll show you the monthly candles too. So it also kind of looks like I don't know what I'm doing with MSTR because these monthly candles, yeah, I mean, people are like, this stock stuck. This stock sucks. These monthly candles are over $100 a piece. Like that one, that's over $100 move. That's 390 to 360. That's a $60 move in a month. That looks like another $60 move. I mean, this thing can move $30 to $150 in a single month. So we get one good month. My stock is back and well above where I bought it. So I'm okay with that. I don't like, but my trades have been crap and I should not have been leveraged, especially to the upside. Like if I just switched my leverage, my account would have probably doubled. I'd probably have a $160,000 account if I would have went downside instead of upside. So that's what I'm doing. But my bread and butter is just selling options, and it's boring as piss. And I'll tell you a great option to sell right now. If we did a strategy session, because I don't give advice, I don't have a license. I'm not a financial advisor. I don't want one because I can help people, and I've helped people throughout my life and their finances. I'm really good at it. I'm actually decent at even at somebody's trading. I can help consult and do a strategy session with them and figure out what they want to do with their account. That's kind of what I do. Help people figure out what they should do with their accounts. And my one buddy, we've been talking about stuff. He makes all his own trades and he's been doing really well with Mara because of my advice. I literally told him to sell right here and he sold at 9:30 that morning. And then he didn't get back in until right around here. And then, yeah, we held through this because we weren't sure what the heck was going on. And then when we dropped there, I should have told him to get out, but we held. He held. And then he bought in more here. But look at this. $15, anywhere between that $14 to $16 range is pretty much a decent place to get into this stock, especially in an uptrend. We're a little bit more bullish. Stimulus checks possibly coming out. Yeah, see, I'm paying attention to too much noise. Also, I'm going to start getting rid of some of my stocks here because I don't look at stuff that I don't want to think about trading. But yeah, selling cash secured puts on Mara. Anywhere between like 14 and 15.50 right now is a pretty decent idea. Put, sell. So what that means is that you would buy 100 shares at these prices in the next 4 days if it hits. So who cares what happens in 4 days? We looked at the stock, got a pretty nice support right through this line, 14.50. I'd sell 14.50s all day long. Now, what does 16 cents a share look like to you? That looks like a dividend. Let me ask you a question. Is there any stock out there that pays a weekly dividend? None that I know of. And there's not a darn stock in the world that I know of that's going to give you 16 cents a share off a $15 stock, especially in a week. You might get 16 cents a share a quarter. So let's go 60 days out. We sell a $14 put 60 days out. You're going to make $1.37 a share. So over 60-ish days, you're going to make $185 on, $137 on $1,400 in collateral. But that's way too far out. I like to go about 2 weeks out. And the 1450s are a really good place to be, from what I would suggest. Oh yeah, you're going to get way more premium here. So that's almost that's 6 times more time. And you're getting $16. When the heck do they have earnings? Oh, they just reported. That's interesting. The reason I'm asking that is because this option I'm looking at the wrong freaking strike price. That's why. I thought it was $100. Looking at the wrong strike price. The 1450 is 43 for 11 days. But the 1450 for 67 days, well, I guess it's the 14. So in between here, let's just take the average price. You're looking at about 160. So you're only going to make 4 times more for 6 times more time. I don't like that premium. That premium doesn't make any sense to me. Plus, I'd rather play the short term because I don't really care what happens in the next 11 days. This is what I'm really good at, and this is what I need to start doing again in my own account. And that's what I do is the wheel strategy. So, I mean, this thing looks like it's got a little resistance around $18. So we could even sell short term $18 and hope for it to come back. And if it doesn't come back down, then, well, we made money from where it is now till $18. Find another trade, and that's fine. I'm playing trading like I'm playing like long-term shares. So that's what's screwing me up, is my investor mentality is butting up against my trader mentality, and I'm not a good trader. I never really did it for very long. I've just just kind of started doing it. The wheel strategy is the only thing that I've ever done, and I'm good at it. So over the next 11 days, I mean, let's look at this. This is the daily chart. So 2, 4, 6. So yeah, I mean, in 11 days, we went from $20 to 15, so we can have a pretty significant move. But we've moved into the place where we'd want to buy now. That makes sense to buy. But generally, 11 days doesn't give you a whole lot of, craziness. But it can. Now, here's 11 days. I mean, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11. Here's an 11-day period. Basically, the stock went from 15 to 1650 back to 1550. I mean, it barely moved. There's about 11 days from here to here. We went from 16 to 21. So, I mean, 11 days can do a lot. And, I mean, geez, 2, 4, 6, 8, 12, 20, 22. This was an entire month. And then for an entire month, this stock didn't do anything. It went from high 14s to the low 16s for an entire month. So we can play this volatility, and if we're doing the options, who gives a crap? Who gives a crap if we get out, miss the move? Now the charts have changed. Like, now's a good time to buy in. I'd still like to see this curl. We could have a little bit more downside. Buy some shares, sell some covered calls. Or if you think it's coming down a little bit lower, like I said, I think 1450 is your floor. And if it's going to come down to 12 or even 10, it's not going to stay there for very long. And if it does, then you're just in the trade, and then you get out when it comes back up, because it will. But yeah, so think about this when you have more and more amounts of money. So if you do something like this for a very long period of time, so let's say you have a $15,000 account right now, you can do this. You can do this. You can do 10 contracts and make $430 every 2 weeks on 15 grand. That's pretty decent. Like I said, that's almost, it's actually 3%. It's a 3% trade in 2 weeks. So you do that single trade every time, you're making over 70% a year, over 75% a year, if you can manage to find this trade every 2 weeks. And that's just the premium. So now if you get into the stock, you do the same thing on the way out and just sell covered calls at what looks like a decent area. So if I don't know, maybe I sold a 1550 covered call or cash secured put, and I just bought shares of this company, I would come in here and look and see, got a little bit, like I said, like a little bit of a toppy right there around 1850. I see that line right there. And we got this peak. So I'd sell anywhere between $16 and $18 covered calls over the next roughly 2 weeks till November 21st. So we come back here, call, sell 16, because we're in at 1550. We're getting 16, so we're making the appreciation from 1568 to 16 plus 78 cents per share. So we're guaranteeing this. This is if the stock moves. But if you want a little bit more upside, it moves. I'd go 1650 17s. Get yourself $1, basically $1 a share. So that's $100. Minus 18. So that's $82 gain from the share price, and then a $63 gain from the option in 2 weeks on $1,500 or on 15,000. Depends on how many contracts you had. So if you just had one, in 2 weeks' time, you're guaranteeing yourself, I'd probably sell 1650s, maybe 17s. It's not a bad premium, $50. $50 every 2 weeks. Hey, who wouldn't want an extra $100 a month? And you've got the upside potential to 17. It's $1.35 a share. If we bought shares right now, we got $1.35 share upside potential, and we got 50 cents per share guaranteed on the contract. If it doesn't hit, who gives a crap? Keep selling $17 covered calls until it does, because that will give you what's the percentage? Wow, that's a really big calculator. Anyhow, so the way you calculate your percentage is, you're going to be in here at 1565. Oops. And you're going to make $50. So we're going to make $50. So we divide what we made by what we spent. Since it's to be 100 shares, because these are contracts. That's a 3.19% trade. So a 3.2% trade in 2 weeks. That's just the option premium. That's just the option premium. That's not the upside from 1565 to 17. So that's it's called $1.35. So we're going to make $135 off of 1,565 in collateral. That's an 8.6% trade. So Mara goes from 1550 to 17. You make 8.6% on that move, and you make 3.2%. So plus 0.032%. That's a 12% trade in 11 days that's potentially going to happen. If that 11% in 11 days, holy smokes. What if the stock comes down? Who gives a crap? We already said that stock's probably not going to drop much below $14. Big area of this year. So, yeah, just do that. Just keep doing that. Why not? And like I said, if you're on the other side and you're looking to get in, just sell puts. You got 15 grand, you make $430 in 11 days. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. This is the guaranteed money right here. Just do that. It's boring. Come in here, look at your charts. Don't worry about what it does unless there's something that just absolutely drastically, like, okay, Mara comes out with some news and I don't know, all their facilities caught on fire. They lost 90% of their assets. I mean, just like complete devastation. That's when you go, get out, don't care, sell it all, doesn't matter what the loss is. Something devastating like that happens, then you get out. Now, it's unlikely, but yeah. But just let it happen. Just let it play out. Just let these lines move, because they're going to move. The market does not care about your feelings. It does not care about your account. It doesn't care if you're black or white or male or female. It doesn't care. It'll take your money. It'll give you money. Doesn't matter. But what you need is a strategy, and you need to play it out. And what I have not had is a budget in my account or a strategy other than I know this stock is going to do well in the future. For long term, buy and hold, it's a great idea. For a trade, it's a terrible idea. Wheel strategy, I think, is the absolute, hands down, foolproof, well, not foolproof, but the best way to make money, and I'm going to start doing that in my account. Yes, not right now, because I have some trades that have changed that I want to see play out over the next 3 to 9 months. I really want this option to play out. I really want these options to play out over the next roughly 9 months, getting into midterms next year. I'm holding those for that. And then I believe that M is going to start rising again. And I will not, absolutely will not sell my 158 shares. I bought a few today, and I bought them for a reason. Because the stock is low. My average price is like 350, 340. So I'm going to slowly be picking up some shares in the mid 200s. Try not to go crazy because we still have this is Mora. We still have a downtrend. I'm sorry if you can't see my face. I'm on two different screens right now. But yeah, MSTR is still showing a downtrend. Now, I don't really know what I'm doing here with this. I don't know what the heck this line is doing. I'm going to accidentally moved it. So what I'm seeing is a really, really strong support on the RSI right here. It's now hit it 5 times since August. So it doesn't want to drop below that RSI level. Now we do have a lower MACD level here than here. And the price is still coming down, and it's in this stupid trend, death cross, 5 cross to 13 all the way back here, which that's my favorite setup. When the 5 crosses the 13, that just pretty much tells you to get out. And then when the 5 crosses the 13, it tells you to get in. Now, this was a shorter one. But so right now, the stock is still downtrending. But from what I have here, from the peak of the RSI to here, we're coming into this wedge. So we don't really have much of a choice but to break up because we can't break down that much more on an oversold RSI. So I'm seeing upside, especially on the relative strength index. The stock's been absolutely beat and butchered, and it's got great fundamentals, so it will come back. So that's why I will not sell these shares, because it'll come back. Now it's volatile, like it's stupid volatile. Just the shares are volatile. That's why I play the covered calls, because sometimes they're easy to scalp. But this is Finance and Investing Just Joey style, and I want to get back to the bread and butter of my account. And I want to look at a chart and go, yeah, that's a pretty good place to sell stuff and buy it. But unfortunately, right here would have actually told me that was a decent place to buy. I remember too, like right here, something changed and we were like, oh yeah, we are ready to go. And then Black Swan event happened with the government and China and whatever, and boom, changed everything. And I could not switch myself around in my own head quick enough to go, what do you mean we're on a downturn already? Because this looked like we were ready to go. And we didn't. Now, I didn't have this line drawn in here yet because, yeah, I should have drew it here. And it did break out of it, but only for a second. And then sentiment changed, trend changed, chart changed. I mean, but I mean, we don't know exactly what's going to happen from here. It's like right here. We don't know what's going to happen. We have no idea what's going to happen on this blank part of the screen. None. If anybody tells you they do, they're lying to you. But we can get some pretty good indications. But like I said, the sentiment change, the stimulus checks, crypto, Bitcoin, Clarity Act. I mean, here's the other thing. Clarity Act might not go through. Clarity doesn't go through. That MSTR is going to tank even further. So I can't fully trade. I can't just buy everything I'd love to put every ounce of money that I've got left in buying power into shares. But if this stock drops even further, which it can, we fall outside of this, which it did for a second, but we're right there. We lose 235. We get a close below 235, I'm buying a put all day long. Or I'm opening up an at the money or an even in the money up covered call. Because support, major support. So this is not a bad place to buy stuff. But if we lose that, we're definitely coming down to 200. Maybe even 180, somewhere between 180 and 200. We might have a quick stop at 220, but I see 200. So, gee, there's several things that are telling me to buy shares right now. But there's also a couple things that are like, calm down. So, but yeah, I'll probably pick up a few more shares here and there since I have the buying power, since I'm not leveraged, and these are just shares. So even if they lose, let's say I pick up 10 shares and they lose $10 a share, well, shoot, we got a potential to lose $40 a share. Say I pick up 10 more shares, they lose $40 a share. That's only $400. It's a lot better than 20 grand. So crucial levels like, oh yeah, I should have picked up shares there, should have picked up shares there, lot buys. I'm not good at laddering down lot buys because I want to buy bulk. Anyhow, this is Finance and Investing Just Joey style. MSTR is great. I'm going to sell covered calls and cash secured puts once some things change over the next 9 months. I will not sell my MSTR shares. So I just want to cash up my money so that I can even buy more shares of good companies. Because I need a cash position. I'm very bad at having a cash position. Just very bad at it. I always like to be invested. Anyhow, that's my thoughts. That's what I'm doing. Sell cash secured puts. But yeah, but definitely in 5 years, if I did absolutely nothing, if I sold everything and had nothing but these shares, 158 of them in 5 years, I believe wholeheartedly with what Michael Saylor's doing, with what Bitcoin is doing, with what the world will adopt it more than likely as, I think that this would be worth over $1 million at 150 shares. Because I think that Bitcoin is going to be over 10 million. So that puts us at a 10 to closer to a 20x because it will amplify. MNAV will change. Well, that puts this closer to $4,000 a share over 5 years. And if you think that's absurd, it's not, because it did it already. There's a 10x from there. That's 5 years ago. And like I said, we're on a kind of a downtrend here. But from the peaks, we're up 20x. Now my account, I guess, wouldn't be quite at $1 million. It'd be at almost 800,000. Yeah. But yeah, that's why. Oops, I'm gonna do that. But that's why I have this company. They're amazing. They bet Bitcoin-backed products. Oh man, even on here, we're at a support level. Like I said, it's easier to see it on this chart. Look at this. Bam, bam, bam. That's 3 touches. That's 3 touches. Oh, that's a freaking Head and Shoulders. No wonder we went freaking down. Jeez. Ugh. But yeah, support and resistance is really easy to see on this chart. Really easy to see. There's no lines, there's no nothing, just where it stops on both sides. Stopped here, stopped here. Man, it stopped here 4 times. It didn't drop below this back in April and March. I'm buying 10 more shares of it right the freaking heck now. Right at 239. Oops. I'll put that in already. So actually, I'll be very happy. I might need to change this if that's the bid ask. I might need to go closer to the ask. 20 cents is fine. Right in the middle. 60, 30, 10. We'll go 15. See if it hits. Ouch. And now we wait. Let's see if it happens. Actually, I don't place trades in the after hours very often. I'm surprised it hasn't hit. I don't really give a crap about. Not 110. Not enough money for that. We'll just go to 239. Who gives a crap? 239.40. That's 40 cents. I don't care about long term. I'm just market hours, extended hours. Oh, there's a 24-hour market, so let's just do that. Got the whole freaking thing there. That's at the ask, so should fill. I don't know why it's not. Oh, there it is. It filled. Got them. 168 shares now. Those I won't sell. Still got buying power. 13 grand. Yeah, I think that's a good buy. Anyhow, this is Finance Investing, just Joey style. I'm gonna go work out, make some food, spend some time with the dog. Later.